have to say, I love your guys' background. I
Oh,
feel very, very appropriate right now.
Good.
Um, I was familiar with the film, the 1988 film, because my mom would watch it, and so like I had like such great memories of it. So, what was it that made you want to bring it to series, and knowing that it is so iconic, and why is now the perfect time for the retelling reboot of it?
Mm.
well, we asked ourselves the question, what is it about Dangerous Liaison that still resonates 300 years after it was written? What is it at the core of it that still resonates? I mean, of course, in one sense, it's a love story, albeit a sort of confused and tragic love story, but also it is the story at the core of a woman navigating a man's world, and that's as relevant today as it was back in the 18th century in Paris. And we thought that was worth exploring further. And Harriet and I started talking, and Harriet reread the books and then explained what happened.
Yeah, well, I was again, I wondered what more could be done with this extraordinary piece of literature, but rereading it is such brilliant writing. It's such an amazing portrait of a time and these two extraordinary characters. But there's one particular letter that for me was the key to how we would have our version of Dangerous Liaisons. And it's letter 81 from the Marquise de Merteuil. And it really is a mission statement. It's a wonderful piece just by itself, but reading it with a view to what would our portal be? That is the portal, because she talks of how she has constructed herself and how, in a way, contrived she is to survive this world. And what really struck me in my interpretation of it, it didn't feel like she was part of that world. It didn't feel like she shared the values. She feels like an outsider who has learned to live in it for her own aims. And that, for me, was the bit where I thought, wow, there feels like Laclos has given us this wonderful space to create that past and to see how we get her to the point of that character we meet in the novel. That same for Valmont, these two extraordinary, amoral, corrupt, brilliantly corrupt individuals, but to take us back to a point where there is real danger, there are real stakes. It's not a game because they're bored. Their lives are the strategies that I think we see in the movie and in that novel. So that was the starting point. We thought we have a prelude, and that felt very exciting to explore and take us to that point where we meet those characters.
The biggest thing that I learned in doing research for this, I had no idea that they were based off a novel. I'd seen the movies so many times. And so like just knowing that, like, and buying the novels and starting to read them, and it gave me such a different appreciation for the story. So thank you for at least bringing them back so that I and other people can really read something that is so beautifully written. That being said, you guys have some amazing actors in this series, like absolutely amazing actors. Alice Englert was one of the first interviews I ever did in my entire life.
Really?
Yeah, she was in the movie called Beautiful Creatures, and at the time I was the assistant to one of the authors who wrote the book. And so we went down to set, and I was also had like a fan site, but she was one of the first interviews I ever did, and I just remember her like pure like dedication to her craft, but also like her magnetism and the way that she just commands a room.
Yeah.
That being said, watching the show, so many actors do that. So did you guys, like, how hard was the casting process? Can you describe it a little? Did you come into the show knowing that you wanted somebody particular involved?
No, we wanted to find the most exciting actors and have a great mix of actors. One of the, and we needed to sort of really anchor the show around Camille and Valmont. And what's happened today is that audiences are really excited by finding new people. Stars no longer drive the television business. There's no guarantee of success if you have a star in a TV show. And so we went out to try and find the best actors, and it was during the pandemic, and we had lots of auditions sent in, and we saw Alice, we saw Nicholas, and we knew immediately that these were two fantastic actors and had great takes on the role. But then we were, because of the lockdown, we had to get them together. We wanted to see what they were like together, because that's obviously the spine of the series. But we couldn't because of the lockdown. So we arranged to put them into a rehearsal studio where they were separated by a massive plastic sheet. And we determined that if they could actually interface with each other and rehearse scenes together through the plastic sheet, we probably had a good chance that they would work on screen.
Yeah.
And they were electric,
and
absolutely charismatic together, between the plastic sheet, and we knew we had our cast.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for your time. I love period dramas, and I've seen the first 5 episodes. I think it's fabulous. Like, honestly, it's fabulous. And I was so scared of it because of my history with the movie.
Right.
But I was able to detach from that and really see the beauty in this. And you guys did such an excellent job.
That means so
thank
much.
you. That's great.
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you.
Well, enjoy the rest of it, please.
I will. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.